Hello, hello, guys. Surprise! I'm here. Welcome to the surprise stream. I'm your host, Haunted Goose. Normally, our schedule is on Mondays and Wednesdays, but since I had a little bit of downtime before I have to run errands, I thought I'd pop on here real quick. Well, I'm just finishing up one of my gouache practices here on uh, this lovely, are we Thursday? Yeah, on this lovely Thursday. Oh, sorry, I think like the music is a little loud. I mostly um, got to the stages of already putting down my jelly gouaches as you see here. It was so fun like picking out colors just because you guys gave me some really great suggestions on Monday's stream. Um, of which animes to inspire these uh, Shroomy babies. And I had one follower ask for Ghibli inspired, another for DBZ, and the third one's up for grabs, but I'll probably just leave that last. But yeah, just gonna enjoy a chill stream, another chill stream with you guys while I finish this up. I also have my acrylic gouache here on standby just because I found it to be an awesome paint to like outline stuff. But I'm just gonna like pencil in here just because I want to add some details and whatnot. I'll probably zoom in a little bit as I probably gonna do some detail work and stuff. But yeah, hope you guys are having a great Thursday. Um, Always happy to hear of all your artistic endeavors. I'm just gonna like move this over here and you guys can get a good focus. Yeah, the base is basically there and oh, sorry, that was on my phone. Oh my gosh, I'm live on Twitch. This is news to me. That's always been my nightmare. Like basically, that's why I unplug every camera. Every time I uh, leave a stream, just because I've had this impending nightmare that like I leave my stream on and then you guys hear my raging at my attempts of Overwatch or League, which is never fun. That is one side of me that I would not want the internet to win. You guys have enough stress in your life, so that's why when I come on stream, I always like to have my cup of coffee, a candle lit, have all that stuff. I'm not ready to be a gaming channel in any way, both in skill and temperament. But yeah, most likely I'll probably lift my mic unless you guys have some specific questions. You guys had awesome questions from that you guys messaged me on my Instagram about some questions about digital art and stuff. In case you guys are new, on Mondays I do traditional. So something similar to this, we kind of start a new project or kind of go into like specific details of a traditional piece, and then Wednesday is like our Wacom Wednesdays, which is like basically just digital art stuff. Um, and you guys asked me some pretty awesome questions on Instagram. One of them being that if we're gonna start a Discord soon, and to that I answer most likely not until we hit 50 followers, just because at least so far, the followers that uh, I've had that they kind of want to remain anonymous. They're kind of still in the shyer parts of uh, their art journey, and that's something that I do want to respect that. So not until we kind of have a bigger group, because I would want to like utilize that the best for you guys and kind of pay attention to what you guys need. So probably not till we get a little bit of a bigger family will I bring and unite all you guys together. But I don't want anyone, at least so far in our group, to feel pressured or feel like they're missing out. So I want to give you guys that time in your artistic endeavors, that patience. Take it slow, take it one day at a time. But that will be something in future that I am looking into. So then that's something that But it's always something that, at least in the chat or on Instagram, if you guys ever want me to give you a shout out, if that's something that you're wanting to connect with other artists, that's something I always want to recommend doing, just because you are not alone here. Um, but at least so far, until um, we get that bigger group, that way it's something like I'll have more resources for you guys. Um, and we have still some shy members in our group, so don't want to pressure them just yet. Well, I would never want to like pressure to begin with, but I want to give them enough space and time in their art endeavors to have a good time. Alrighty, guys. So if you hear me jangling over here, it's because I got. It's not until like you move your art supplies that you realize how much art supplies you have. So I literally brought. I cleaned our home desk yesterday because they came in to fix our Ethernet cable and stuff that runs through the house. So I had to make sure everything was spotless, and that meant shying away my art stuff, shunning it to I wouldn't say our because it's mostly my like craft closet. I'm the designated uh, artistic person in the class in my house. So I have like a whole corner space of art stuff that I sometimes have to shun my stuff into for cleaning purposes. Because if not, then it's just, especially with my brushes, I gotta be a bit more attentive with them, because if not, they just bristle all over the place. So gotta put them away. So I'm gonna at least get like some sort of semblance of organization. It doesn't last long, but also if you hear some snoring in the background, I assure you it is not me. It is my furry companion here today. He's doing a lot better. Thank you guys for messaging me um, with his anxiety problems and stuff. We finally got to like manage that today. We had some fun time in the yard, so he's taking a little power nap before lunch here. So yeah, I'll let you guys enjoy the music and my detail work and stuff. But if you have any questions, comments, just be free to ask away in the chat. But at least for now, just gonna lift my mic here and pop in just to check everyone's okay. Oh yeah, so I had somebody actually ask me about these. I actually got these modeling brushes. These are great for like detail work. They're actually used. I bought them at a craft shop that sells basically like Warhammer figurines and Gundam models and stuff. I found like they're super great, especially for outlining and stuff, because I'm using, if I can pop up the exact color I'm using right here. I'll be using the acrylic gouache for like the outlining work on the outside just because of how pigmented the colors were. If you were here on my last stream, you kind of saw like how it really, like the color really read well like on camera. So I'm gonna give that a try since I put the gouache base, the jelly gouache base already. But yeah, I definitely recommend these. And to kind of preserve at least the structure of the brush, I'm gonna keep these like tubes. I hopefully will not lose them because I have been known to lose things, especially if they're small and clear. Um, but yeah, I'm basically gonna go in and I'll let you know. I'll update you because it's really the first time I've ever used a brush from like its purpose is for modeling, for like painting models. So I'll keep you guys updated, especially I'll probably do a washing machine test. I kind of did that for this bad boy. If you see on my Instagram, like I kind of did a test, especially for gouache, which I was super happy I did because that would have completely trashed my watercolor palette. So yeah, I'll probably do a test like that after I finish with one of my pieces that I'm working on, and I'm feeling a little bit more brave to uh, machine wash them, even though for me, I think hand washing is the best, but I prefer it that way just because like it won't lose the structure. But I know a lot of you guys had that question, and I kind of want to put them to the test, but not just yet because I just got these. But probably like as I use them and stuff, um, I'll do that experiment for you guys, so then you don't have to. And I'll be happy to sacrifice my $5 so then you don't have to. Oh, okay, guys. So, what I'm going to do next is most likely go into like where the stars are and add a little bit of highlight to it just before I ink any of my piece. Mostly because I like stalling and inking is for me the most terrifying part, which is ironic since I'm dealing with paint, which you would think is equally terrifying, but I don't know. I guess it's something that for me, like inking has always been like, oh my gosh, my lines look so wonky, but I'm never gonna get better if I don't practice. So, but a good saver if you're like me and you're terrified of wonky lines is getting a white pen. Um, with paint, it's a little easier, depending on the type of paint, especially your acrylic paint. It's pretty easy to hide, but this is a pretty good way to get like kind of like a controlled flat look on like let's say like lines or for example you could probably see just because I use the jelly gouache which is more opaque, it's kind of similar to watercolor. You can probably see some of my sketches still under here. If you go in with I'm using Jelly Roll just because that's the one I had on hand, but um, try and find one from an art shop or something because not all white gel pens are built alike, especially if you get whiteout pens that are specifically for correction, like so for papers and stuff like that. Um, just be careful of like test out the type of pen that it is beforehand because um, the amount, a lot of the times it doesn't have good control over it. So if it has kind of like a ballpoint that doesn't, it's not that fine, it'll kind of just like all splurge out and it'll make a bigger mess than, it'll almost like turn like chunkier faster and then it'll look uneven. So try and use your white pen evenly and with as few strokes as possible so then it doesn't look bumpy, especially if you're using it on canvas. It's a little less forgiving than paper. Or I'm sorry, especially if you're using paper, like computer paper. Um, and if you're using mediums like watercolor or jelly, definitely be careful and make sure it dries completely because what'll end up happening is it'll mix. So that's why I would use at least a jelly pen over just white acrylic because if or and definitely don't use watercolor like white watercolor will just mix because it gets reactivated with water. So it'll basically just make that section lighter than the other ones, and then you'll still be able to like see the mark. So definitely make sure that your pen marks or whatever you're trying to cover up is completely dry, and then you can go on ahead and use your jelly gouache or something else to cover up the white. Oh, sorry, that's my alarm. Apologies. You know what's funny? I put the alarm and I don't even remember what the alarm is for. Oh, okay. I think it was for my laundry. That makes sense. Okay, yeah. So I'll switch to the laundry after this. Um, so yeah, that's my biggest thing. Um, but if you're very confident with just using white acrylic to correct something, I say by all means just be careful of the amount. And if you're just starting off, this is a good alternative. Just to like go on in and do little highlights or detail work even. Um, but yeah, especially in areas that uh, your, oh, sorry. Oh, also do a test strip beforehand because funny enough, I used this on a dark surface before, so it still had some paint on it. So you can test it out first because the paint will sometimes but yeah, that is like sometimes like so much easier just to do a little bit of detail work with the white gel pen. Um, but yeah, just be careful of because I have used white gel pens in the past, and for whatever reason, I think because of the brand or whatever, I steered away from it for a while until one of my friends gave me this for, funny enough, like for sewing projects. So I sew like felt plushies, and she recommended this one to like trace on black felt, and it was so easy and it glided so well that I'm like, well, it has to work super well on paper, which it did, thankfully. And the same if it doesn't go on um, the first layer, just wait for it to dry, and then if you want to make it more, like pop out more, just let it dry, and then you can go on in with a second layer of Jelly Roll White. So yeah, she got this for me, and honestly, it's fantastic. I definitely recommend this one. All right, so the two inking pens that I have are from Micron. Of I haven't used them in a hot minute, so I'm actually gonna do like a swatch really quick because God knows if they're super dry or not. So I'm just gonna like do some line work down here, like super quick off. Let me see if I can. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Alrighty. Okay. So I have like my palette. Funny enough, like I actually like Googled DBZ palette, and I came like across like a whole color wheel of like all the characters and stuff, and I was like, ooh, this is super handy. In case you guys want any, I'll probably post it with the post that I'll make after this. Oh, okay, so we're good. It's never a bad idea to swatch something before you use it, especially if it's been a while. Micron for me, it's hit or miss as far as certain. For some reason, I don't know why. My smaller pens are the ones that dry up first, probably because like I use them more, and I'm not very gentle with my pens. Uh, I have been known to break things, not on purpose at all, or even in rage. It was just more of the sense of like I would press too hard instead of just drawing something over, and it would break the. I'm just like an overall clumsy person. So, definitely, it is much better to be gentle with them and try and trace over um, than end up with a broken pen, especially when you get them in sets and stuff. Um, so I'm just gonna go on and I'm probably gonna be very quiet. I'm gonna probably lift up my mic because for me this is like the most nerve-wracking part of everything, which is silly because I know I have my correcting pen here, but I gotta get over it. Especially I want to stream more for you guys in the future. So if you hear me getting really quiet, I'm just gonna lift up my mic. But if you want to like snap me out of my nervousness and stuff, just don't worry about it. It's not you guys, it's me. Okay, that's one. Whew. Alright, so I'm going to show you an example of, I'm trying to see like where specifically I even, so yeah, right here I made a bit of a boo-boo where I got like a little, let me see if I can, so then you guys can kind of see, especially what's beautiful is that it's right there on the yellow so then you guys can see. So wait, let me just put my finger there so then I know where I'm looking at. Alright, let's see. So then you guys can kind of see the point I was making with the correction pen. Okay, add something. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is kind of go in here. Let me see if you guys can see it okay. Yeah. So it's a little bit crooked here. So what I'm gonna do is just draw in on that white and just because it's a little too crooked and it's funny because I actually see a bit of my sketch there too so I can just go on in and fill in where I see those sketches. See, this is why I do these like practice ones before I really do anything for my pieces, because then um, I really learn. Because I'm telling you, any artist can tell you, no matter how long you do things, especially per piece, you always learn something new on every piece. And it's not about making mistakes or not making mistakes. It's making a mistake and then knowing, oh, okay, what can I do to correct it? And this goes even for like digital art. And a lot of people, they mistake digital art as easier than traditional art, which it's not. It's like any medium. It has its ups and downs, but it is a skill. So I have mad respect for digital artists who that's their main medium. Um, and like it's really learning what you're using and then the look that you're trying to achieve it, and you learn something new every single time. So you can prepare, and you can, of course, it's an easier time than if you just go in completely blind to what you're using, and but that's why I definitely the when I learned about thumbnails, which is basically like smaller versions of whatever it is that you're gonna work on, like just the speed, and it's not even like yeah, quality of course, because if you do something more than once, your quality is definitely going to go up. But for me, it was time, like the idea of like knowing ahead of time what I was gonna do, and where I was gonna put the colors. I'm just an indecisive person and an even more indecisive artist. So if I knew kind of ahead of time um, what colors I was gonna use and uh, which lines to put where, it helped me a lot. So if there's one thing that oh did I okay good yeah I put down like a towel and stuff like that because my hands in and of itself like they smudge pretty easily, like I think because of like my movements and stuff I warm up the paper. um so yeah, if that's one thing that I would want to pass along to any of my fellow artists, it's that thumbnails, no matter even if you're um like a spontaneous painter, which I'm all up for. It's like you draw and you paint whenever and whatever you feel like. But just even knowing the materials and stuff that you're gonna use ahead of time and how they react to each other, it. But also, I have those days too where I'm just like, listen, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, that's most of the time. That's like 90% of the time. But where you just want to sit down and draw whatever it is that you want to draw, I fully support this feeling also. Because there are some days where, and funny enough, like sometimes I get inspiration from that. Like when I have like artist block, or um, I just go on to like my old sketchbooks and I redraw something from a couple years ago, or I draw fan art of something that I really like characters or. But if you're one of those artists that you're just like, you know what, I just want to open a sketchbook and go for it, I fully support this also. Anything that gets you to expressing the way that you feel and helping your quality of life, I feel like there's no wrong way to do art. Because by the end of it, why you do something, it's completely up to you. There's some people who are uh, doing art for themselves and it's important to them to have that freedom. And there's others that they want to do it with a specific goal in mind. And I feel both are completely valid and equally important. So don't feel that you have to be a certain way to be an artist. I feel that you creating something that wasn't there before and putting the effort, that is artist enough in my book. Welcome to my TED Talk. You know why? Because I used to be like that. I used to be, well, if I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough to call myself, And I have those feelings still. Like I get Instagram envy is like the way that I describe it. It's but I learned a long time ago that that should not like influence me in the wrong where it's like you can look at an artist and feel inspired, be like wow, like look at those techniques and look at um and then it's like motivation, you know but you should never use that as fuel to like put yourself down or for comparison, because by the end of it they're in their own journey. They have their own things going on, and that's where they're at, and your journey is equally as important. And you're exactly where you need to be to go on to the next step, if you want to push yourself, if you want to motivate, but never at the cost of your mental health or your esteem, because I'm sure if you were to talk to that artist, if they were probably at a same position as you know or they probably still are, a lot of people they're at certain parts of it's kind of I remember reading it's kind of called like climbing bear syndrome, where uh in the metaphor it's like you're the bear, and like you get to a certain part of the mountain and you don't stop to look at the view, you just keep on climbing, you just keep going and going, and then to the point where even when you reach the top you don't even remember like where you even started, because you're just so busy climbing and climbing, and which is a shame because every step of the way there was something to enjoy. And I feel art in a lot of ways, just like in many ambitions, it's kind of like it's a forever mountain. Like there are many hills to climb, and there is no perfect way to do something in art. So, if you don't enjoy the view, you're just gonna like keep on climbing with no end to it, and that's a shame because I feel like everyone at some point in their artistic journey should, of course, push themselves and, of course, strive to be better. But if there's never a point where you look at something that you did 5 years ago and say, whoa, oh, I draw this so much better, and oh, wow, look, I fixed, for me, it was definitely when I learned to like uh, draw hands, or at least uh, I would never draw my characters with open eyes, Like there was a point where I was so nervous to draw eyes that I just always drew my characters with closed eyes, and like I even look at small stuff like that and be like, "Oh wow, look. My characters have irises now." And definitely be kind to yourself. I think everyone deserves that. Alrighty guys. So, I'm more than likely going to fill in this gap just before I head out, cuz I have a doctor's appointment in a little bit. So, kind of get ready for that. I don't know how it is with you guys out there, but it is sunny. I'm like lifting the window and ooh, it's like that type of crispy hot outside. Okie dokie. Alrighty, so we're gonna go in. So the thing with acrylic wash, it dries so fast. Like literally, I put down this paint like less than half an hour ago, and it's already like bone dry. So I'm gonna go in a little bit of water here. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like that's why I love like the art community because everyone is so nice and of course you get like your trolls and stuff like that, but that's like with any community. But it really made me realize like how mean I was to myself. Like and it's not it's almost like as I got older and as I like raised my expectations, I guess, with being older, I just got meaner and meaner to myself. And it's crazy because I remember when I was younger, like I would have killed like to be able to draw um how I draw now. And it's not to say I'm not. I'm like very novice. I'm an extremely novice like art um like artist in and of itself. Even then I feel guilty like saying artist, but like I don't know what happened between like me being a teenager and now um where I just got like mean about myself. Like I got like a critical eye. And I guess it fueled a lot of my studies because you know, if I wasn't like that, then I wouldn't have gotten better, I guess in my mind, but still, I think I think in a lot of ways like it wasn't until I saw people talk about themselves that way that I was like, "Oh no, like please don't say that about your artwork, like." And then I'm like, "Oh man, I feel like a hypocrite because I literally just said this to myself 5 minutes ago when I was doing my line work?" So, yeah, I hope if anything on these streams, it at least inspires someone out there to talk nicer to themselves. So, I'm going in now with the jelly gouache just because it's looking a little. Alrighty, so I'm just going to let that dry a little bit, see how it looks, and then most likely going to go into the highlight. I do want to fill in a little bit more of that orange. Let's see how we are on time though. Okay, so we have 6 more minutes. Um, so I'm just gonna let that dry real quick. Um, Probably gonna finish up with the outlining, post it on Instagram, and start working on the other mushroom. But actually, I'm like looking at it too, and I'll probably like fix the stem a little bit more. So, um, but always super happy to have you guys here. I always love like the deep motivational conversations we always end up having like on the stream. It's always very sweet to see you guys on here and supporting each other. Um, and yeah, I'm going to actually prepare for Monday's stream just because we're still working on the um, mushrooms now, but I'm actually gonna go after my doctor's appointment. I'm gonna go to my local library because they asked me to work on a piece that they kind of looked at my portfolio and stuff and like picked out something that they want to display. So I will probably most likely update you guys on Instagram on that. In case you guys don't follow me, it's like the same as my Twitch handle, Haunted Goose, and I'll most likely fill you guys on that. because I'll work on it this weekend so then we can at least pull down some flat colors or something here on stream. I'll have you guys most likely vote if you guys want me to do the pencil sketches on stream, or if you want me to do the flat colors and stuff. But I'll update you guys on that, and hopefully the meeting goes good. I think so. I hope so. So yeah, I'll update you guys, and it's always great to hear from you guys, to learn that you guys are doing super great on your challenges. I know that they're tough. A lot of you guys, they are wrapping up Mermaid and some of the local challenges from the art community, and I'm so proud of you guys for pushing forward and doing your best. And I always love seeing all of you guys' practices. If you have any questions, be sure to message me anytime. Just know that there's sometimes a delay just because of the time difference. But do not worry at all. I'll get to you guys as soon as I can. And yeah, so I'll prepare all of that, and hopefully we can do another surprise stream because these are always super, super fun, and I love talking shop with you guys. But yeah, gonna wrap this baby up, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.